Hi everybody, it's your favorite professor, Dr. Togans. I'm back for another video. Let's move on to finding the future value and interest for an investment earning compound interest. So we're going to start with this question. The Carters are saving up to go on a family vacation in 2 years. They invest $2,600 into an account with an annual interest rate of 1.22% compounded monthly. So, assuming there's no withdrawals, how much money is in the Carter's account after 2 years? So, I always recommend that you click on the explanation so that you can see what's actually going on. And you're going to use this formula, the compound interest formula. So I put a little asterisk there. It's not the prettiest. But so the A is the future, what A stands for is the future amount in the account. P is the principal. That's usually whatever the amount that you start with. And it's the amount invested. And R is the annual interest rate. N is the number of times a year the interest rate is compounded. And T is the term of the investment in years. So I like to always point out that it's important to underline anything in a word problem that is mathematical or has numbers. So if you look here, it says that P, the principal amount, is $2,600. You must change the interest rate to a decimal. And it says in the question that because it is compounded monthly, that's where we get the N of 12 because it's compounded monthly. So there's 12 months in a year. And then it's over 2 years. So T is 2. And then you just substitute those items in the formula. And I'll write it a little bit bigger here. So A equals 2,600 multiplied by 1 plus, because that's in the formula, the decimal of the 1.22%. So 0.122. It's divided by 12. And then you raise that to the 12 times 2. And then you have your result, which is 2,664. And I do believe it tells you to not round intermediate computations and round your final answers to the nearest cent. So that would be 2 decimal places. So this would round up to 9. The 0.187 would round up to 0.19. And then you can see the result right here. And then in order to answer part B, you just subtract the initial amount. So you have 2,664.19 minus the initial amount or the principal, and you end up with $64.19. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. So the Bells are saving up to go on a family vacation in 5 years. They invest $2,400 into an account with an annual interest rate of 1.41% compounded annually. And then you're just going to find out how much money is in the Bells account after 5 years, and then how much interest the bells earned after 5 years. Okay? So again, I like to underline the things that are important. And then it's compounded annually. So n is equal to 1 because of that. So I can even write it here. N is equal to 1 just to have it stand out a little bit for you. So our principal, we need our principal, we need our rate, and we need our n amount and our time. Okay? So your principal is $2,400. And then remember the 1.41%. Oops, let me go back. Let me write percent next to that. And we need to, and you just divide by 100 in order to get your decimal, and you'll end up with 0.0141. And our n is 1, so I'm going to make my 1 stand out. And then the time is 5 years. And remember, the formula is A equal to the principal times 1 plus R over N to the NT. So A is equal to 2,400 multiplied by 1 plus 0.0141 divided by 1 raised to the 1 multiplied by 5. And your result is 25.74 and 4 cents. And then in order to, and this is answering part A, and then to answer part B, we just take what we earned and subtract it from the principal amount, and that is equal to 174 and 4 cents. All right. So I encourage you to try this next one. So pause the video and give it a try. So the Riveras are saving up to go on a family vacation in 5 years. They invest $2,900 into an account with an annual interest rate of 1.51%. So similar to the other problem, 1.41%. So in your mind, you should already have an intuition about how that percent is going to be changed to a decimal. And it's compounded quarterly. So assuming no withdrawals are made, how much money is in the Rivera's account after 5 years, and how much interest is earned on the Rivera's investment after 5 years. So I'm going to give you a chance to pause the video and give it a try. All right, so I'm going to write this out without listing anything except the N. So our N compounded quarterly. So quarterly, if you take the year and you break it up into quarters, 12 months, you'll get 4. All right, so we have A being equal to 2,900 times 1 plus our percent changed to a decimal, and then that's divided by N, which is 4. And then we raise it to the NT, which is 4 multiplied by 5. And that is equal to 3,126. And that's answering part A. And then part B is 3,126 minus 2,900, which was the initial amount. And that's equal to 226. So now you can check to see if you did it right. And then moving right along to the last one. The Carters are saving up to go on a family vacation in 2 years. They invest $2,300 into an account with an annual interest rate of 1.23% compounded monthly. So hopefully at this point, you notice that pretty much you do all of these problems the same, except the end changes. So you should have an intuition about that. Again, the number of times that this interest rate is applied, which is compounded monthly, is really good. That's how most of our bank accounts are. And so A is equal to 2,300 multiplied by 1 plus, changing that percent to a decimal. I tend to not like to write the zero in front of it, but it is proper. Divided by 12, raised to the 12 times 2 years. And we end up with 23.57. That's a 7. And 25 cents. And then part B, that's part A. Part B is again just taking what our result was. Don't ask me why my 7 wants to connect to my 5. That's a 7. And subtracting the initial amount. And you should also notice that the interest, when you gain interest, it's not that much more than the original amount. It's usually not, you can look and see which one. Is it compounding quarterly? Is it compounded monthly? Is it compounded annually? Which one gets you the most in terms of how much you earn in interest? And then 23.57 minus 2,300 is $57.25. So I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time.